When I mention Yansui, most people probably associate it with the Yuejing Lantern Festival or its exciting beehive bottle rockets. In fact, these have become must-do items during the Chinese New Year celebration. But besides the Lantern Festival and the beehive bottle rockets, Yansui is a historic town filled with old stories and alleyway delicacies. Let's go discover the story of Yansui together.
The Brown Line buses can take you to Xingying, Yansui, Xuejia, and Jiali.
Hey, David here, and I just arrived in Yansui by bus, which is very convenient. Yansui is a lively little town and it's got more than 300 years of history behind it. It used to be a very busy seaport, and now it's also a bustling tourist attraction. There's lots to see and lots to play in Yansui, plus the food is amazing. So let's go find out.
Conveniently, Yansui is accessible by bus, and most of its points of interest are close to each other. Everything's within walking distance. To get to know Yansui a little bit better, try visiting Dazhong Temple first. Here you can find information regarding the 8 main attractions of Yansui. Dazhong Temple is located right on the shore of the historic Yuejing Harbor, where sailboats from Xiamen and Fujian once moored. However, the shipping channels of yore have since turned into ditches. A stone stele with the inscription, "A congregation of fishermen's lights and ripples," can be found here. Beside the stele stands the Congregating Ripples Pavilion, which was once a rest stop for visiting merchants. From this, it is not hard to imagine just how busy the harbor used to be. Fuchen, Lugang, and Mengka were the 3 largest historic seaports in Taiwan, and Yuejing Harbor was the 4th largest. Of the 4 most important historic seaports in Taiwan, 2 are in Tainan. The little shrine built using mahjong pieces sits beside Dazhong Temple. No larger than 40 square feet, this temple worships the deity of wealth. Pilgrims come from all over just to touch the temple, which is said to bring good fortune and wealth. This is one of the unique attractions here.
Hey, can you guys guess what this place is? From past experiences of the show, most of you guys may think it's a temple of some sort, Taoist temple or Buddhist temple, but it's in fact a Catholic church.
Without a sign on the door telling me otherwise, I really thought I had just walked into a Taiwanese temple. The architectural style here, and even the main Temple of Heaven building, look just like your local temple.
I have to be extra quiet in here. This is the main hall of the Yansui Catholic Church. And as you guys can see, there's a painting of the Last Supper up on the wall. But it's a little bit different. It's got a bit of an Eastern flair. And instead of bread, you're actually eating Chinese buns.
Inside the cathedral, there's even an incense burner that's all but indistinguishable from those found inside a Taiwanese temple, except for the fact that it has the words Catholic Church inscribed on its side. Here you can also see a nativity scene, and if you look up, you can see murals and chandeliers.
The Yansui Catholic Church really is a mesmerizing and awe-inspiring place. And it's a perfect example of a clash between Western and Eastern cultures and icons, but in a very harmonious way as well. For example, up on the ceilings and the wall, there's stories, and much like the murals in a Chinese temple, it depicts the story of Jesus' crucifixion, but in a very Chinese style and using a lot of Chinese icons and decors as well. Just right outside the main building where they hold their mass, there's a little chapel as well with Virgin Mary and baby Jesus inside. So in this little chapel, you can light a candle and make an offering and pray to Virgin Mary and Jesus.
The old buildings and alleyways of Yansui are very intriguing, and the historic Qiaonan Old Street is very well preserved. During the Chinese New Year season, the old street becomes incredibly lively. There's even the 100-year-old blacksmith shop on the street. Let's go see what it's all about. So I'm just walking along the Qiaonan Old Street, and I happen to bump into a very old blacksmith shop, and apparently it's a few centuries old. And rumor has it that there's a very old master inside, so let's go pay him a visit. Right now we're with the owner of a very ancient blacksmith shop along the Qiaonan Old Street. 好嘅，你好。
So this blacksmith shop looks like it's got a lot of history and it looks very, very ancient. So how old is this blacksmith shop?
The shop has been passed down for 6 generations. The current owner is the 5th generation blacksmith. Back in the days, in addition to blacksmithing, they also produced and supplied raw materials. Because of this, many blacksmiths in the area actually had to come to the old street just to stock up on supplies.
So I know there are a lot of different products when it comes to blacksmithing, but can you give us an example? So how long would it take for you to make a knife, such as a cleaver?
Once you have it in a crude knife shape, it still needs to be hammered, annealed, and polished until it becomes satisfactory. It's a very repetitive process. Even though the owner is getting on in years, he still got it. His blacksmithing skills are second to none. Yanshui has so much more than just egg noodles. There are other fantastic food worth lining up for. Let's go have a taste.
Hey, it's snack time again, and right now we're in a very special snack shack in Yanshui, and this is the owner of the snack shack. 老板你好。
你好，各位观众大家好。
So 导枪 literally translates into bean strips, but what are bean strips? Let's ask the owner.
我们豆千羹呢，就是原则上就是米豆千做成的。
The strips are a combination of duck eggs and black-eyed peas. Like regular noodles, the strips are extruded through a pasta maker, so basically besides the different ingredients, they look like the regular noodles. These bean strips used to be a popular staple food in an agrarian society. However, black-eyed peas are rarely cultivated nowadays. They must be imported in order to make bean strips.
So as far as I know, these bean strips are supposed to be made into soups. But how are these soups made and what ingredients goes into these soups? Let's ask the owner again.
那我们就是先把那个虱目鱼汆烫，然后用这个高汤下去熬煮。
Then we add to it gourds, fried shallots, and fried garlic, and stir in some potato starch to thicken it. Lastly, just before being served, we throw in some fresh oysters. This is how you make a bowl of delicious bean strip chowder.
It's actually my first time trying bean strips, and it's surprisingly familiar. I think it reminds me of my grandma's cooking, and that's a compliment actually. And they may look like noodles, but they're really not. They're made with black-eyed peas, not the band, but the plant. And it's more slippery, I guess, than regular noodles. And when you mix it with our good friend, the milkfish, and oysters, it really is a delicacy. Oh yeah. Hits a spot, and I think I want more. Well, look at the lineup for 水煎包 or pan-fried pork buns. Let's line up as well.
There is always a long lineup in front of the stall selling pan-fried buns. Here you can see the owner busy stuffing the buns and frying them directly in front of you. The buns are incredibly fresh, with a chewy outer skin and generous fillings. This old stall is indeed very popular.
It's very chewy, surprisingly so, and springy at the same time. And the most important thing is it's not greasy at all, which I find quite surprising because a lot of snacks in Taiwan tend to be on the greasy side of things, but this is just perfect.
When visiting Yanshui, make sure you're wearing your most comfortable walking shoes. Most of the attractions here are all within walking distance of one another, and each alleyway here deserves a good stroll. Take your time as you indulge in Yanshui's rich history along with its stories and delicacies. And of course, there's always a place here for you to put your feet up if you're tired.
You know, it really is a fantastic time to be in Yanshui right now. Right now there's the Yanshui Yuejing Lantern Festival happening, and to coincide with that event, they've got street markets set up all over the place. And if you're a coffee addict like me, then you can't skip out on this opportunity. We're at the Yongchen Cinema, which was renovated just a few years ago. Let's go have a look.
The historic Yongchen Theater used to be a rice mill. 1/3 of the original structure had to be demolished to save it from a raging fire during World War II. Only the warehouses remain to this day.
所以买手将这两间的部分改来做戏院。
This wasn't purely a movie theater either, but also accommodated theatrical productions. The Yongchen Theater has a collection of many cinema-related artifacts, such as vintage projectors and amplifiers. Then there are the 70-year-old Cypress cinema benches and walls adorned with old photographs. Right by the entrance is a large photograph showing a graffiti-covered backstage gable wall. From these graffiti, one can glimpse into the lives of the troupe that was once based here. This Japanese-made film projector is from 1945. Once the limelight was lit, it was able to produce 1400 lumens. Through a system of reflective lenses, the light was then projected out onto a screen, forming an image.
影片伫做的时阵，经过胶卷，还过这镜头，到这银幕，这款影机伫走的时阵，1秒钟走16个画面，这是视觉暂留。
The frame rate of film is slightly different from the refresh rate of your TV. If you were to make a movie with a camera designed for shooting TV shows, the picture would stutter due to incompatible video frame rates. The guide at the theater happens to be the son of the theater owner, and he is very familiar with every aspect of early theater operations. After Mr. Huang's thorough description, I've realized just how complicated this whole theater business used to be. A lot of know-hows are involved in controlling the light and juggling between the different film formats. This is all easy stuff in this digital age, of course, but when it was 70 years ago, it really wasn't a task for the faint of heart.
These old wooden benches, they may not look like much, but they're actually very comfy, and it's actually surprisingly ergonomic. And one really cool thing about these benches is the fact that there's actually a height difference, like in modern cinema chairs. So the front row will be shorter than the ones in the back. And just the fact that these benches are more than 70 years old is amazing.
For any of you film buffs out there, the Yongchen Theater is a blockbuster not to be missed. All the walking around sure makes me thirsty. There's a famous shop here that specializes in fruit juices and icy treats. Let's go quench our thirst.
Can you guys guess what this is? Give you guys a hint. Nope, this is only half the equation. In fact, this is actually watermelon and lemon juice together, that's right. And I know there are a lot of watermelon juice around the city, and those are great too, but a lot of times they're too sweet for my liking. But when you add lemon to the equation, it's perfect actually. It's just sour, but not too sour, sweet, but not too sweet. It's just right.
Now I wonder how the owner came up with this recipe.
因为我就是想讲西瓜鸡脆搭，那么柠檬它有综合维他命。我想来甲结合看卖啊咧。
You know, Yansui has a lot of different attractions and lots of different snacks, but I refuse to leave Yansui without a cup of these. Isn't pretty. That's the famous octagonal mansion, or the octagonal house of Yansui, and it was built in 1847. Back then, it was used as an office by a very well-off sugar merchant. How's that for an office?
Well, as it turns out, the octagonal building belongs to the owner of the juice and shaped ice shop as well.
欢迎大家来八角楼八角楼就是我的老祖先叶氏生所经营、所建造，我是第5代。
The octagonal building was largely built using mortise and tenon joints. Simply sliding out the tenon allows the removal of entire doors and windows. Latticework adorns the upper window panels, allowing light to pass through. The panels are not carved directly from wood, but composed of intricate wood joints fitted together by hand. From the outside, it's difficult to see the inside of the building, but everything outside is visible from the inside.
你来看咱这个108栋的头门，够紧，做好处理，加一个榫头。你看咱甲开咧。
You know, this very intricate shutter. It's actually got a very ingenious system. Check this out. Do that, it opens up, and when you close it, it shuts down. And to top it off, this is 180 years old.
Looking at the design of the octagonal building, it's difficult to imagine that it was constructed more than a century ago. The structure, lighting, and safety of the building are very well thought out. Come to Yanshui for its old streets and heritage buildings, treat yourself to some mouth-watering delicacies, and listen to the many stories of Yanshui.